Today on In the Wood Yard, it's a fuel up day. I got fuel we're gonna dump in machines, and I've got a load of oak that's got to go in bins. So we're gonna chuck some wood today. So here we go. So what we've got here is a bunch of diesel fuel I just went and got. I filled up gas in my truck, and I got some diesel fuel in these 5-gallon jugs here. And I also got some premium for my lawnmower right here at the studio, and then I got another 2.5 gallons of chainsaw mix because I used up one of them when I was at the Firewood Hysteria. So that's going to be left here. So 2 days ago, I didn't film it, but I put in 3 5-gallon jugs into the firewood processor, and I'm going to dump in 2 more because 2 more will fit. And then my tractor is getting low, so I got to fill that up, and then I'm going to fill them up again. So what I've been doing is like once a week, once every other week, however long, you know, it takes, I just fill up these 3 jugs and I just dump them in, and whatever needs, whether it's the tractor or the processor, and then I fill them right back up. So I always have 3 5-gallon jugs here because I don't want Bert to use any of his fuel for anything, and he uses my tractor whenever he wants, and that's perfectly fine. And I just want to always have fuel on hand. I don't want to ever have to go get it. And I try to keep my gas cans full all the time too. So whenever one gets empty or if 2 gets empty, I'll take them, get gas in my truck, and fill them up right away. And some of you I know will be saying, oh, you need to get one of those portable little power things that you can put in 20 gallons or 25, whatever it is, and wheel it around. I know, this isn't that hard. The one thing I did do on 2 of these is I bought the last 2 of the big nozzles you can see that are on here. This is the one that they come with, piece of crap. All you do is spill gas and you can't get it all out. They're just terrible. And when you tip them over, you got to put pressure on this to make it go down these safety caps, and then you got to push on it, and then you're putting all the pressure on this nozzle because you got to kind of put weight on it. If you don't do it just right, they leak. So they had 2 of these at the store I went to. I go to a local box store. It's called Fleet Farm. They had 2 of them because I think a lot of guys are buying them for these cans. I've also got them on my gas cans that I use for the splitter and for my lawnmower and whatever other stuff I need premium gas for. I really like these gas cans, the ones that have the this safety one. This one works really good because you can be very precise with it and turn it on and off. It works just fine. So I like these. I've got, I don't know, 5 or 6 of these. I've got, I think, 4 for chainsaws, and I got 1 for my lawnmower at home, and then I got another one for the lawnmower at my business where I mow. So I switched these out, and I have some of them that I put the vents on, but actually the vents for the processor one don't work very good because I had one, and the reason I don't like them is it actually goes too fast. It can't take it because it's got one of those in-throat filters, and you can't go very fast with it because it'll overflow on you. So you got to actually go slower. So not venting them actually works fine. I just tip it up and let it just kind of just run in and squeeze it once in a while. But if you get it too fast, it won't take it. It can't drink fast enough. So that's why I don't have these vented like I do my gas cans. So we're gonna go fill up the processor right now. Okay, so I got the jug up here and I just stand right up on top of here. This is the fuel indicator tube. It's just a gravity tube. And you can see where I got these marks. That's every 5 gallons, and it just happens to be right at the 5-gallon mark, so I should be able to fit 2 more in here. This is a 60-gallon tank, so it fits quite a bit of fuel. And like I said, I just keep filling it up, try to keep it as full as I can as I get fuel. So I'm going to fill this up right now. And like I said, this has got the neck on this has got one of the strainer screens in here. I don't know if you guys can see that in there. It is very, very touchy as far as how much you can put in. It's kind of a slow fill. You can't just shoot it in, which is good. I'd rather keep the debris out, so that's just the way it works. We're gonna hop up here, we're gonna fill her up. First, we're gonna use the supposed non-spilling safety cap here and see what happens. And again, it only takes it so fast. It's about as fast as this thing will fill, but it seems to be going in. This is a newer one, so it doesn't leak yet, but I've just found over time, when you push down on these things like this, you can see it flexing. It doesn't take long, and then they start dripping from around the neck where the nozzle attaches right in this area, and I've cracked a whole bunch of these right in here. I've had 2 or 3 different ones, and they just crack and then they leak, and they're just crappy. They're crappy. Piece of crap. That's saying it nicely. So we're gonna just dump this whole thing in here, and then the other one I'm gonna dump probably half of it in, because the tractor I just looked is pretty low, and it'll take at least 6 or 7 gallons to fill that up, because it takes 11 gallons and it's about at a quarter, and I like to keep it pretty full. So we're gonna dump this whole one in, and then half of another one, and then we're gonna put the rest of them in the tractor, and then I'll go again probably tomorrow and fill them up again right away, or the next day, and I'll have fuel on hand, so if we need it, we got it, because I always like to have fuel, because you never know when the apocalypse is going to hit and you won't be able to get any, or, you know, just an unusual scenario, you work a lot on processing or a lot with the tractor, and I don't want to have to hold back on a full day's work if I don't have fuel right on hand, and it's just a pain having to go get fuel, as you guys know. That's why some guys I see, other YouTube channels, guys that have diesel and gas storage racks where they've got, I saw one guy, he's got, I think he had like 10, maybe 15 of these for diesel, and then he had at least 10 or 15 5-gallon cans that were full of gas, and he numbers them, and what he does is there's always an open slot, and that's his used one that he's working on. So they're numbered, say, like 1 through 10, and then what he does is, say he's on number 5, so that slot is open and that one's down from his shelf, and then he uses that to fill his machines while he needs it. And then when he fills it back up, he puts it in the 5 spot, and then he pulls number 6 down. And he uses it enough that it never sits, he said, for more than 3 or 4 months. So he's always got 3 or 4 months worth of fuel on hand, which is a great idea. And he said he's got so many different machines, and he has them in different locations that he can move them around pretty easily. And he likes to have one in his truck at all times, just for spare too. He has a place he drops it right in the back of his truck, so that guy's prepared. And I know there are guys that are prepper types, and they do the same thing. They'll have 5 or 10 jugs of each kind of fuel, and they have it on hand all the time. And the problem obviously with gasoline is you can't store it for that long. They say it's good for about a year at most, if that. And diesel, I've heard guys say a couple years, but I don't know. All I know is that I go through it fast enough. I think that's the end. Looks like it. Feels like there's a little bit more in there. It's still coming out just a little bit. And that's the other thing, is it drips. There's never ever a good seal. As you can see, it was leaking right around here even. It didn't leak around from here at all, but in here it was. So that one's empty. We're gonna go to the next one. All right, so here's the other one, the next one I should say. And this has the, it's called the high flow. It's got the bigger opening. It's like 3/4, maybe it's even a full inch, I don't know. It's pretty big. And these are like, especially if they're vented, you get real fast full, but like I said, I can't do this very fast because it won't take it. It can't drink it fast enough. So what I've been doing is when I put these in, is I just hold it on, I got my hand on each side here, and then when it gets to where it's starting to get a vacuum in there, I just squeeze the whole thing, and it's as fast as it will go, because it's already coming up to the throat. It's already right about on the edge. I can see the foam coming, so it's as fast as it'll drink it. And I'm resting the back of the can on the DEF container box, I don't know what you'd call it, tank. There's like a box around the tank. So I'm basically, oops, see that? Got a little too happy with the squeeze in there. It shot it back out at me because it won't drink that fast. And that's about all I'm gonna put in, because it's just about completely full anyway. The rest of this will just fit right in the tractor. So there we go. And I shouldn't say always, but I usually try to put the cap right back on the tank that I'm filling, because that's an open throat and it could drop stuff in there. So I try to close that up right away before I put the cap back on the nozzle. But here's the high flow nozzles, what they look like. You can see them, and they seem to work good. The sad thing is they're hard to find because everybody's buying them. And the other thing that's kind of sad about it is they cost almost as much as the can itself. You get a jug like this for like 20 bucks, 19, 20 bucks, something like that. And you get the crappy nozzle like this kind, which I don't like. And I just swap them out if they've got these right away. But these right here, if you get like a double set, you get an extra throat extender and then a couple collars. And they're like, I don't know, 14, 15 bucks. So almost as much as the can. just to make it work right, which really is stupid. But there you go. So before I can start chucking wood into the bin, I got to make the bin a little bigger because it needs extending, and this is the oak bin. So we're just going to keep going the same direction behind me here. And you probably can see this. I don't know if you guys can see close. I'll take the camera down there so you can see. Those of you that watch a lot, you probably have seen this. Those of you that are new, you might not have. What I'm doing is I'm going 3 pallets wide, but my middle pallet is off the ground. I got it separated up off the ground from the other 2, so you get more airflow underneath, so the wood can breathe better all the way around. It's kind of the new thing. And then we're just putting sides on. I just wire them on with electric fence wire. That's it, 17 gauge. It's real cheap. You can get a 1/4 mile of it for about 20 bucks. So we're just wiring the corners together, and then each piece here, and then down there, down the corners. We just keep going, and then we run a piece of wire from side to side, and this will tighten right up once we get wood in there. And there's one right here that goes across, keeps them from flopping apart, but they're plenty strong. And you can see this whole bin here staying really nice. So the wood's drying just excellent in here too, I mean, because it gets sun and wind all day long. So a lot of this stuff is already ready to burn. So very nice. So I'm just gonna kind of add to this, and then we're gonna chuck some wood in. And I don't have to go too big because that's one trailer full right over there. And if I just put down these here and then the side, put that on, and that'll be enough for a whole nother trailer load full and then some. So it's pretty easy to do. It's way faster than stacking. So I kind of like it. I think the wood's gonna dry just as good, if not better, just like this. Here we go. One more over here on this side. Right here. And I'm gonna stand it up a little higher that way. See, all I'm gonna do is just secure it and go the other way. I'm just gonna tie it in on the bottom corners, and then the top up here where it touches the other one, and we'll do the next one right there too. So you don't need much wire either, just one wrap around seems to do it. So far, out of all the bins I've made, I haven't even used a whole roll yet. So it's working pretty good. When I see a man working, I'll show you a man working. Check this out. It's obviously disking time. Dried up enough that they can finally hit the fields now. It's a heck of a tractor they have here too. Very nice. My guess is he's going to do this whole field probably before dark. Now I just got to run a wire from this side to the other side, but I'm not going to put it all the way up because I want to be able to chuck wood in here and fill it up and put it on once I get it where it's starting to get full. But I'm just going to attach it here so that it's ready to go across. And when it starts to fill up, then I can attach it to the other side. There we go. Now the chucking can begin. There it is, the trailer is empty, the wood is in the bin. That is now 2 trailer loads full. They're in the bin so you can see how much space that takes up. And like I said before, you can see here how that is off the ground there so it can breathe all the way through underneath and get the west wind to blow through there. And the pallets are kind of open on that end so it can all blow through nicely. And there it is. I'm gonna go dump this debris over in the debris pile, which is right over there. And looks like a piece of wood got thrown out here. Must have been the cats. So there it is. And Keith's brother, who they're partners in the farm, has been disking. He got all this done in the last, I don't know, 45 minutes, maybe an hour he was here. He just left a little while ago. He's gonna come over here and show you what a real tractor looks like. For those of you that are farmers, you're gonna say, yes, that's a real tractor. I don't know what it is as far as horsepower or size. All I know is that it's a 4-wheel drive with duals on all 4. And it's a 9370 case. So it's a substantial tractor. The tires are over 6 feet high. I'm just about 6 feet and they're taller than me. So those are some dandies. That is a tractor. That's a good sized one. I guess they got a couple of these. So there she is. There's the engine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cylinder. I think 6. Does that look right? Feel the heat coming off of it there. And she's a big boy. And there's the disc. I'm guessing that's, I don't know. You guys are farmers will be able to tell me that's got to be a good 20 feet across, at least on the disc. It looks like it does a really good job, nice and level. Does a really nice job. Pretty cool. So there she is, a real tractor, not a little toy like I have. Okay, we're gonna dump some debris and put the tractor away, and the sun is setting, beautiful night. It's a time of year when there's no mosquitoes yet, so there's no wind tonight at all. It's got to be right around 70 degrees. Absolutely beautiful out here. One more thing I got to show you guys. I forgot about this. I was going to show you earlier. Because we live in Wisconsin here, we have basically from the 4th of July until about, I don't know, 10th of July or so. That's our summer. That week or so, week and a half. So we're always ready for winter. So we do have a little mascot here for the wood yard. Bert made this a few years ago with his dad. That's it's got hay in it, straw. So that's like a 4-footer, a 4-footer, and a 4-footer. So that's 12 feet, and they've got a racing tire up on top. So I guess Bert made that, and he used to have it out by the road. It was in the barn, and they're cleaning it out, and they were gonna either throw it out, and Bert says, no, we'll put it out. It'll be the new guard for the wood yard. So there you go. We have a wood yard guard, and it's big. So you can see it from the highway, so it's pretty cool. So there we go. Now I'm gonna go dump some debris. So there, I got the trailer moved into place over here, so it's ready for some more wood because I've got all that to do resplits on. I'm resplitting about a third, maybe a half. I could leave it, but I want it to dry a little faster, so I'm splitting it a little bit finer. For those of you that have been around a long time, my customers generally want smaller splits because it's for fireplace, not so much boilers. And so I split it down a little smaller, and the reason for that is because that's what they want, and it dries faster. So I want to turn the wood over as fast as I can. So I'm waiting to get going on this stuff. Hopefully we get going on that soon. Coming up this weekend, I'm going to be going to a buddy's property. He's got a whole bunch of dead oaks. It's got red oaks that have oak wilt and they're dying. I've been cutting there for quite a few years. And he's also got a bunch of maple trees that got flooded out and died. So I'm gonna go look at those and see if they're any good to go. I've been to the property before. You guys have seen the property on the channel before. He's got like 90 some acres, and probably half of it is woods and the other half is kind of swamp and food plots, stuff like that. But we're gonna go there and I might do some cutting there. The sun is setting, as you can see, so that means the day is over. Here is the snowman once again, because I know you guys really like him. He's special. Right now you're going to go watch some more videos. And for those of you that want to know, they always ask me, you know, what can we do to help the channel? Watch more videos back to back. Leave them just run on your computer, your TV, whatever. That's the most important thing. Poking buttons is nice and everything, but what really matters is watch time. That's everything. So if you want to help me, watch more videos or just let it play while you're working or pretending to work. That's all for tonight, folks. Good night, Irene.